Welcome everybody to episode 75 of The Lookout. Wow, 75, man.
It's crazy, man.
You know what that means? We got 25 more episodes until we get 100 of these things.
Big time. We got to really go crazy then.
Listen, I feel like we're definitely going to hit that next year, considering the output that we had this year, which is still, I think we recorded probably more episodes in this year than any other year. We had to have.
We had the time too. We had the time.
Yeah, at the time, world's ending, etc., etc. But with that said, if this is your first time listening, I am Meelz. I'm here with the Platinum Chanel boy himself, Jeff.
Hey, what's going on, bro?
I don't want to begin this without asking the question, Jeff.
Yeah.
What the hell happened to you last week? You were on the episode. All right, so we're recording the episode. And then you were recording. Shout out to Jay. Shout out to Dion Brando. You can follow him on Twitter. Did an amazing job. Shout out to him. We were recording the episode, and then you were no longer in the room with the episode. Yeah, and it was. But we continued it. But yeah,
of course.
left.
Show must go on.
So what happened? What happened, please?
So earlier that day, my puppy I just got a puppy. For those who don't know, his name is Killua from Hunter x Hunter, of course, and we have a fencing up for him, obviously, because we want to keep him preoccupied, and he got his paw stuck inside of his fencing and basically sprained it. And when I was recording the show, I was outside of the veterinarian, so when we were not allowed inside. Like they take the puppy out the car, bring him inside, and they bring him back to you. So she came back out with the news, and I had to dip for my baby boy. So that's what happened, man. That is what happened. He got his paw stuck in his fence and his gate, basically, playing around.
Is he good now?
He's fine.
How is he?
He's fine. It wasn't broken. There was no fractures, no nothing. So he's fine. He'll be solid. He'll be good to go.
We have another special guest on the episode. Someone who I know knows Dragon Ball as much as anybody on my timeline. Someone who actually we have a lot of things in common: Dragon Ball, wrestling, funny Simpsons quotes, etc., etc. He's a comedian. He's an all-around just great social media follow and just great guy overall. I want to introduce everyone. Kyle Lewis. You can follow him at Keep It 5-star on Twitter. Sir, Welcome to The Lookout. How are you doing?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you guys for having me.
I always feel a way when I can clearly hear that the guests have better mics than both of us.
Isn't it?
Obviously, we need something needs to happen, and maybe I need to go over to Justin and figure out where these RNC checks are kind of going to. But you know what? We'll figure it out. But you sound crisp, you sound clear. Welcome to the show, man. So many questions I kind of want to ask, but I think one of the things we normally ask, especially for someone who's a first-time guest on the show, what was your first anime you watched?
The first anime that I watched was Speed Racer, actually. It used to come on, even though it was anime.
Yeah.
It used to come on Cartoon Network, and I watched everything on Cartoon Network that wasn't the Pirates of Dark Water. So when it came
we're showing our age right now.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be a washed episode, guys.
Yeah.
But when I saw Speed Racer, I was just like obsessed with it, and I was like, it would come on like 10. It would come on really late at night, but I recorded it, and I was all into it until it ended, and I was just like, when's more Speed Racer? It just never came back. And then Sailor Moon came on. This is when it really started. Sailor Moon started, and I was a guy, you're a 10, 11-year-old kid.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't want to watch this show for girls the way it's marketed, but then I secretly wanted to watch the show.
It's hard.
So I remember sneaking to watch it a couple times and like, it's okay. And then the next thing you know, I'm buying tapes and it's on Toonami and I'm all about Sailor Moon. And then Dragon Ball Z. My friends kept talking about Dragon Ball Z. So I was like, okay. They would tell me it would come on at like channel 9 or something at like 6 a.m. I'm like, well, I'm not doing that. Like, I don't get up at it's on a Saturday. Like, I'm not getting up at 6 a.m. for this. So when it finally came to Toonami, I was like, cool, let's see what my friends are talking about. And I hated the first episode of Dragon Ball Z. I was like, they're not doing nothing. like they just sit around.
No, you're right. You're 100% right.
And this is the American one, not even the Japanese one, where like the first episode's about Gohan like almost dying, like the puppy earlier.
Yeah,
the puppy didn't almost die.
Wait, he didn't almost die.
Trouble. Yeah. but getting into a bunch of trouble where you're like, oh my god. So I watched a couple episodes. I saw like Goku die, and I was like, all right, whatever. I'm not really into it. And then I came back, and while in the middle of like the Vegeta saga, well, the action was really picking up, and I was like, man, he's really giving it to these guys. And then that's when I got hooked on the show, watching it, and then it hit the reruns, and I never stopped.
Never stop. The Sailor Moon thing is funny because I definitely used like Tuxedo Mask as an excuse for like really being into it.
Yeah,
you guys ain't seen Tuxedo Mask, man. Come on, man. He's cool as fuck.
Yeah, he's smooth. He's throwing roses. He's got
Listen. I agree with you on the first episode. I don't think I saw the actual first episode of Dragon Ball Z until like really recently. Mm-hmm. And it might have been that when we were going over the Saiyan saga, because I remember I was like, okay, I remember the first episode of this, you know, Raditz shows up, kicks the shit out of someone, etc., etc. I remember this. And then, so we're watching it to recap the Saiyan saga. This is, I think it was sometime last year. And I'm like, I remember all these like Gohan hijinks in this episode. I specifically remember like Goku just pulling up with Gohan, and that's how he was introduced to the show, which would have been fine for me. I actually, it was what it was, but I was like, huh. Interesting. So yeah, definitely didn't realize how much was edited in the same show.
Yeah, they did I mean, back then they were definitely crucified for it, but they did a great job editing this show. Like you had no idea most of the things that they took out even happened. It was like flawless editing that they would do. I think I saw that episode in Spanish first because it used to come on Telemundo, and Telemundo would show it like uncut with all the blood and all.
Meelz knows all about that. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously. I don't know Spanish, but I know this show, so,
I feel like
I'd watch it.
I just think it's amazing that so many Dragon Ball fans and Telemundo and Dragon Ball Z and just not even afraid to like.
Our stories are so linear, like it's so crazy how it happens every week.
It's just crazy. You're like legitimately like the fourth guest. It was like yes, and it was on Telemundo, and I
Straight
watched
up,
it.
Bro.
Straight up. I love it so much.
You just know how it really was back then. Like it's so crazy.
All right, so one of the, I think the big, I don't even know if it's a discussion, but I know you always remind me of this when we're on Twitter about the dub of the show and the specific dubs of the show, because I think you like the, I want to say like that early English dub, but like the other Vegeta voice actor. And I'm like, I remember that just kind of briefly, but I can't seem to find it anywhere. Like that actually original, like, what was it? I guess the Savin Entertainment.
Yeah, the Saman dub. I can. I know they did a Rock the Dragon box set not too long ago. Actually, now it's like 5 years ago, and then that went away. And so they released all those episodes like in a whole special collector's edition box set. But I can. Without saying things that might get me in trouble, I think I know get something for you.
Okay.
If you want to watch, I for a place for you to completely buy it legally. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just provide both. It'll be valid.
Completely buy it. Yes, that's to say that
I can preview it on one source and then decide if I would like to purchase.
Exactly.
That'll be
to preview it.
It's just promotional.
Exactly. But yeah, that dub was so. I think a lot of it's nostalgia because they definitely have the cheesy '90s dub lines where they like change things to like, I can. They used to cut out death, so it'd be like, I can steal their parachutes and stuff like that. Right. And being like, you just wait till
send
my
you to the next dimension.
Yeah. Let's say the next dimension. But some of that stuff was tough, though. It worked.
It worked.
I love the next dimension.
Or Hiffle.
Yeah, Hiffle was creative to me, but the original Vegeta. I think with these episodes, it's hard. It's funny because I watched some of these for today, and I feel like the old episodes you're used to the old voices, and the new episodes you're used to the voices that are now 20 years old, which is wild to say because. Saban in Canada actually dubbed over the Cell Saga and the Buu Saga and all that stuff, and it is weird to watch. Like it's weird to watch like the early '90s, mid '90s dub voices doing Boo, like, and they're doing a fine job, but you're just like,
it's just strange to you. Yeah,
this ain't it no more.
Yeah, it's a different time.
I wonder if they get like all the convention appearances checks. Like, obviously,
I'm sure some residuals come in.
Yeah,
I
hope it comes in.
They don't have
just
a DVD release of it or anything because it's a lot of like finding on the internet to find like Vegeta like Majin Buu speech Saban version,
right.
And like they have like that.
The original Vegeta voice actor is like, I'm the original Vegeta. I'm,
fuck your shit.
There's no Vegeta before me. I actually paved the way. I need homage and all this other stuff like that. So,
he's super humble. It seems like he for Dragon Ball Super, which I thought was really cool when they did the copy Vegeta episode, which was like kind of whack in general. It was pretty whack. But
we never covered it, so it's funny.
Yeah, we definitely.
Spoiler, not spoiler, is whack. If someone's watching the Dragon Ball Super on Hulu, but the dub version, they got the original Vegeta, the original dub Vegeta, to be copy Vegeta, and that made me want to watch it again.
That's some good homage for sure.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's cool. The episode still sucks, but that's cool.
Yeah. That's funny as shit. If you had to say, all right, your favorite arc in Dragon Balls, Z, Super, GT, anything, what would you say?
Favorite arc? We're watching the Ginyu now. I really like the Ginyu arc. It's not my favorite. I would probably say Saiyan. I would say Saiyan. I like the beginning of Dragon Ball Z more than before everything became like Super Saiyan, when especially the Saiyan saga, because you felt like there were like more stakes, especially not knowing these characters.
Yeah.
And even knowing these characters, like these characters die and like, oh crap, like I thought they were gonna do something and they gotta go wish them back, they gotta go to Namek, they're not like super powered up yet. They really have to like fight and like struggle, and like Goku had to, Vegeta, Krillin, Gohan, all of them, and then once Super Saiyan kind of came in, you're like, okay, cool. Like it's they're just gonna wish people back, and they're gonna go Super Saiyan, and everyone else kind of falls behind. Not that they're
the cast lined up,
but yeah, and
Kyle, listen, man, should they have kept Vegeta's hair brown or changed it back to
black? brown Vegeta. That was the funny thing, because I came in late. So after watching like some of like Goku, like the first couple episodes and dipping out, when I saw Vegeta, I saw him first in like blue, and then I see when it did the repeats, which it did multiple times.
Right.
When I first saw the Vegeta, I was like, "What the hell is he wearing? Like, why is he brown?" It's like brown. Yeah, he had the brown. The fit was disgusting. It was disgusting. And green and blue. And, you know what he was doing. But it reminds me of Wolverine, because in '92 X-Men, like you saw the yellow X-Men Wolverine, and then I remember the action figure in the arcade game, he had what I like to call barbecue chips Wolverine, because he had the brown and the yellow. And I was like, who the hell is it? That's not the costume,
Right.
So, blue and white all day, please.
With that said, you know what? We're not going to take up too much more time, but let's get into what we're talking about this week.
Let's talk about these dudes. I actually have some of it on in mute right now, and they just showed that shot of like Goku's fighting Burter, and they do this weird ass close up of Jace's red leg. I've never understood this day. They were like, the animators put in work today. He gonna see these legs.
He gonna see these.
My wrist not hurting no more. Let's go.
So the Ginyu Force is officially here. We talked about it a little bit on the last episode of kind of just the build up to it. Last time to look out, essentially. We talked about it. Gosh, it was Vegeta's reign of terror. He was really kicking ass and taking names. It was probably the most effective he's been in the entire show, of saying, I'm going to kill you. And then killing you.
It is my favorite Vegeta of the whole series. I like to call him like tweener Vegeta for the wrestling fans, because like he wasn't a full-fledged face yet, but he was definitely like had those like face tendencies like Stone Cold in the early days.
We still love him.
Exactly. He's beating up he's killing Kui and Deborah, not Deborah, the pink one. That was really racist. Doria and Zarbon. The pink one, that pink one. Oh, disgusting! No, and then like he gets washed by Zarbon, and then he like the rejuvenation.
And he got like a funny clip after he says it all, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Like he was the man. He was man.
Listen, came back from a 1-5 Dragon Ball deficit. Legit had 6 Dragon Balls. At some point, he goes off to find the 7th one. That is where kind of everything breaks loose because Frieza, who has lost all 5 Dragon Balls that he has, decide he's bringing in the Ginyu Force to really, handle business. I don't know why he brought Dodoria and Zarbon if he didn't think they would be able to do it.
I mean, maybe he had that faith at first, and then I think it fell apart for him.
But then maybe they're we don't know much of Dodoria and Zarbon quite before this, except in that the Bardock movie. I think they're featured in that movie, and the Ginyu Force has arrived. They come in the most hilarious way, posing in front of Frieza, and Frieza has that weird that gust of air that comes by as the one little print. Damn, that was awkward. But nonetheless, they're here. So here's my thing about the Ginyu Force art, and I was telling this to Jeff before you showed up, Kyle. I said, if you told me that the Ginyu Force was never in the manga of the show, I would have believed you.
I can see that.
I would, if you had told me no, it's an anime exclusive. These are just they just wanted to spice things up. They had to extend the anime a little bit.
Yeah.
If you told me that they weren't in the manga, I would have believed you. And it's not to say that the Ginyu Force. But I think they're entertainment, but I don't think to the grand scheme. If you look back on the Ginyu Force, it's you remember them kind of as more of I don't want to say. I guess they're parodies, kind of in a way. Kind of.
I think it's meant to just definitely based off the way Frieza even reacts. I mean, you can tell. Yeah, they have their their gimmick is the dancing, but they're powerful in their own way. But Frieza also even notices that the gimmick is a bit awkward and corny, but whatever. If they do the job, they do the job. You know what I'm saying? It's
exactly. But I agree. You could watch if they did Kai and they skipped Ginyu Force without the fact that Goku needs to go away for a bit. Maybe that's why they did it. They needed a reason for Goku to go away for a bit.
Goku so just shows up and he's healing again.
Yeah, what happened? Oh, allergies.
Space travel. It's crazy.
Oh no. But they had to do something, and I like the contrast that they were very strong, but they were very silly. And I wish there was more of that, not just in anime, but to deviate. And real quickly, the wrestling, I feel like that's a problem. They have certain wrestlers. I remember people used to really hate Fandango. Maybe he's the wrong example to use, or Goldust or something like that. And I think it's fun that if someone can dance around and prance and kick your ass, because then you're even more upset because this person. It's like when you're playing a fighting game and you're fighting the character that always has the dancing taunts, but they can also hit a dirty hit combo on you. So you can be fun and fight at the same time, and that's something that the Ginyu Force, with the exception of Goldo, really transitioned with.
Yeah, any kind of flamboyant OP character is interesting to me. So
yeah. So I love their role.
Listen, what they kind of do is we're further extending the series at this point. They actually, I think one of the main reasons I think they play a strong role in this is kind of really the only time you really get to see a full-on fledged fight with Gohan and Krillin on the planet, which is weird as hell, considering how long they've been on this planet and haven't fought anybody. It is at this point, building up to it, for those two, and I guess Bulma, who's somewhere just fighting crabs. It is. Crab. He even gets a full. Yeah, she gets a full fight before they actually do. It's wild, right?
You're right. That does happen. She has to go. She has to go under the sea and fight all these crabs and save the Dragon Ball. Then she gets taken by those two dudes and
shenanigans.
Yeah,
you know what's sorry, it always bothered me about the Namek Saga, and that's just my brain. They were only there, I think, for a few days, but I was like, oh my god, they must all smell so bad.
No shower.
Yeah.
All day, no shower. I think Bulma bathed a couple times, but then she lost all her stuff, so she's just walking around stinking. Same thing with all the fighters, and that always just was in the back of my mind, oh, this must be a terrible smelling fight.
Well, Vegeta. I mean, actually, in these series of episodes, Vegeta gets to take a shower, so that's always nice. He gets to.
He's fine.
It isn't. It isn't
He
shown.
does keep up with his hygiene. He's pretty good.
It's implied that he's taking a shower, but not.
I
shown,
would love if there were shower breaks before every fight. They just don't want to. Let's do it.
With that said, all right. So here's the interesting thing about the Ginyu Force that I found out most recently. So this is one of the most interesting things. So apparently there was this manual called the Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan Densetsu. And it has provided a lot of context for the Ginyu Force that I previously never knew existed. And when I say context, I mean how they got their abilities, why they are so distinct as they are, why they... Instead of just showing up and just being like, "Oh, Raccoon is the ballerina guy," they're like, "No, he's a ballerina because A, B, C, D." And I was like,
"Yeah, damn, he has history, huh?"
Yeah, who wrote this? It couldn't be Toriyama. Toriyama had all these ideas, and he's just like, we don't gotta explain it."
No, we ain't gotta explain it. They're fighters.
So why would be a ballerina?
So no, we'll get to that. I actually want to go over. All right, so I want to go over each member of the Ginyu Force by least relevant to most relevant.
Let's go, Goldo.
I would argue Birder is the least relevant one.
I mean, I guess because he didn't really do anything.
He didn't really do anything.
He's like, I'm so fast. I'm the fastest one. I'm the fastest you, and he got washed so quick.
Washed.
Goldo at least got like backstory development. Vegeta insults him. He's like, "I'm gonna fuck him up." And
that was the best. We were watching all this because they're all like, "Yeah, get you dance." And he's like, "Well, I can see Vegeta. He's on site." That's the first thing he wanted.
It's so funny. Dude.
I don't want to dance. It's on site for him and him only.
So Birder is known as, I don't even want to say the blue guy because it's not. He's blue. All right. So here's his background. I'm reading all of this of the Dragon Ball fandom that comes from the Super Saiyan Densetsu thing. It says, like the other members of the Ginyu Force, Birder's special powers originated during his childhood. Birder's mother was very strict, making him do all the household chores and slapping him as if he was late preparing dinner. Because of this, he became the fastest in the universe.
Wait. Time.
Okay.
Who wrote this?
It is in the Dragon Ball Z Super Saiyan Densetsu, which was a video game, and this is the strategy guide for the video game.
Oh my god! Wow!
So this is a video game that came out in 1992 on the Super Nintendo, and this was in the strategy guide for all of these games.
So whoever did this and wrote Border's backstory has to be Caribbean. Because he had a mother who had the chores all the time. If he backtalked, he got hit, and he got to that point where he had to get fast enough to not get hit with the switcher. Birder is Caribbean. Birder is like Haitian or something. It's canon. Yes. That's it. Birder.
There it is. Period. He soon became a member of Frieza's elite mercenary platoon, the Ginyu Force. Okay, Birder is the self-proclaimed Azuri Typhoon or Blue Hurricane, as in the Dragon Ball manga and video games. And he fancies himself as being the fastest being in the universe, even though he's clearly not, because that's not how speed works in Dragon Ball.
Nope.
Speed works by power level. It doesn't work by actual speed. Like, it always blew my mind because once they gave up the whole like power level thing in Super, I think people became a lot more interesting. So maybe he's before his time, unfortunately.
Poor guy.
Let's see. So yeah, that's Birder. We can go to Gildo. Okay.
Gildo, huh?
Gildo.
He got different names. Gildo.
The name
Guldo,
is
Guldo.
strange.
There's a lot of different names. Goldo. I call him Goldo.
Gildo. Like the other members of the Ginyu Force, Gildo's special powers originated during his childhood. He realized he had psychic powers as a child and caused mischief, like lifting up girls' skirts and stealing whatever toys he wanted.
Man. That's bad short guy energy, Goldo. Come on, man. We don't
Very
need
problematic.
And there is a tiny picture. You can look at it. There's a tiny picture of him, like in the it's like a drawn manga thing of him flipping up a skirt.
Oh, come on, Goldo.
Do better.
At some point, Gildo became, part of Galactic Freeze Army, which is not yet the Ginyu Force. It's just Galactic Freeze Army. Gildo was the last person to join the Ginyu Force. In his membership test, he had to fight against Berter, Jace, Raccoon, and Ginyu to see if he was worthy to join.
At the same time?
They jumped him in.
They jumped this nigga in?
Like that.
Damn.
Oh no.
He fought alongside a partner as new recruits were allowed one helper and managed to prove his worth, thus being given a membership. That's it.
Wow.
All right, he earned it.
At least he got in. No, he got in for real.
He earned it.
He
Good
got
for
in.
him.
Listen.
That's
Let's
good
go to
stuff.
Raccoon.
It's problematic.
Yeah, a little bit. Raccoon's history is not as long. It says like the other. I don't know why they keep saying like the other. Raccoon's special powers originated during his childhood. Raccoon practiced dance, which is how he got his agility in various battle poses. Okay. Raccoon was later recruited to the Ginyu Force. Very short, very sweet.
Honestly,
very to the point.
To be fair, like I respect it.
There you go.
I respect.
Sometimes you gotta be short and sweet.
Yeah, skill set. Listen, different skill set. He practiced dance. They have him in a picture in like a ballerina outfit. So that is Raccoon. Let's see what I have for Jace. Australian Jace, by the way.
Australia.
From Space Australia.
From Space Australia. Yeah. Okay, so here's where I guess
they mention his accent.
They mention where he's from, which will give you some things. So Jace is from a planet located in the same planetary system as Salza's home planet. Now, Salza's home planet, Kula, number 98. Now, I don't know if you know Salza, but Kula number 98 should be a familiar thing because it was one of the planets that Cooler took over.
Yeah.
So Salza is
interesting.
So I forgot his actual voice in the thing. I only remember the abridged, which was French.
Oh yeah.
So he was the very handsome guy, like obviously the handsome guy in the whole Cooler thing in the first Cooler movie. So he comes from the same planetary system as that guy. As also in the video game Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2 states that Jace and Salza are of the same race. Okay, so one is just orange, one is just blue.
Is he orange or is he red? I never know.
Yeah,
sometimes they like to throw a lot of slurs out in this show. Sometimes I really like Ginyu was like, "How you show your orange face out here?" And then the other time they're like,
I mean, the Namekian stuff is super racist.
So. Yeah, man, they do not care. Monkey, all of it.
Jace's special power originated during his childhood, as they all did. Jace was a pitcher in the Galactic Little League, and it is
like Yamcha.
How did they not fight? Oh man!
And that is there that he developed the Crusher Ball as his special technique. This is how I know this is Cap now.
Big Cap.
Toriyama did not write this. This is somebody's strategy guide. I like it though.
No, I actually like it too. Ginyu could still be the Ginyu Force could still be relevant in Super, and I wouldn't even mind.
Oh, I love it. Like keep them alive.
Yeah, I wouldn't even mind.
Dragon Balls use them, make them wish them back to the little kids, like Pilaf and the gang, and make them like rival groups or something along those lines.
Well, Ginyu's probably still alive out there, huh? Did they ever kill the frog?
I think
he got transferred to that other body.
Oh, you're right. He did.
Yeah,
and I don't remember what they did with him.
I don't think it worked out for him.
I mean, I'm gonna click over his profile pretty soon. I'll see if it's alive or deceased. Soon, while Salza became the leader of Cooler Armored Squadron, so Salza became that. Jace was recruited to the Ginyu Force and led by Captain Ginyu. Jace has a rivalry with Salza, the two arguing about things like who is the better fighter and who is better looking. So
of course,
if you wanted to know if the movie was canon, there you go.
There we go. We're throwing it in there.
We're throwing it in there. I mean, ignore the fact that it's Frieza's brother, but if you needed that extra oomph to it, Jason Salza.
Shout out Cooler, man. Shout out Cooler, man.
Shout out to
Cooler's badass, man.
Yeah, no, he came in, he destroyed everyone, and then lost, but he came pretty damn close.
Let me see if Ginyu's still alive.
Frieza's family, man. Where's his mom, man?
Where is his mom? We've seen his
I want to see
dad.
it. I bet she's probably like, you know what? They should really flip it. If they ever give us opportunity to see it, she should be like an absolute sweetheart or something, you know?
Oh man, that would be so cool.
That'd be so funny,
He's
dude.
around right now.
Could you imagine?
Yeah. Like he has to go back to his mom's house. It's like she's just like, what happened to that nice Goku boy you were hanging out with?
Yeah. Like I just want her to be a complete sweetheart.
Yeah. He's not my friend, mom.
Vegeta killed Ginyu at the in Super, so no, Ginyu's dead now.
But then he survived all the way to Super though. Salute.
Yeah.
He was used to frog life for a while. It was great.
He was just living on Earth. He was a frog. All right, so Ginyu's backstory. Like the other members of the Ginyu Force, Ginyu's special powers originated during his childhood, etc., etc. When Ginyu first learned of his body change ability, he swapped bodies with the richest kid in his class, which made him popular with the girls, but also stupid. And soon he realized that men should compete in terms of strength rather than money.
Okay.
I mean, well, it's fair.
I mean, he learned a good lesson.
According to this, which I assume is the Super Saiyan Denetsu thing, according to this, Ginyu's purple horn body is his original.
Okay, so that is his original body.
So he switched back. He was like, "This is whack. I'm gonna go back to looking like me."
It says only a few people. So here's where it kind of gets like, to me, where it just doesn't add up. Only a few people have seen Ginyu's true form, which makes me think it's like, does he have another form? I don't know.
That we just haven't. Okay, that's interesting.
And Salza is one of them.
Okay.
Yeah, they really like Salza.
Yeah, they really do. He's connecting all the dots right now.
He said Cooler integrated Ginyu into Cooler's armored squadron and had Salza fight him for the leadership of the squadron. Frieza got Ginyu to join his army not long after. So it seems like Salza defeated Ginyu to become part of Cooler's squad. Mm-hmm. And then Frieza recruited, Ginyu because he was like, I hate that smug Cooler or some shit like that. Yeah. And it is what it is. He says Ginyu eventually encountered a powerful being of a horned purple species. See, yeah, this is where I don't know. They have this on the fandom. This is why,
Yeah, they don't know themselves. They
don't know themselves. It's like, oh well, I guess it's not his. Legitimately, a few lines after, it's like, I guess it's not his original body.
I just picture the person typing it all up, and they're just like, guess not, and they just kept moving. I don't know. Make it up as you're going along.
With that said, all right, let's get into. I like him too. I like it. It gives a little context, whether they're true or not, whether they're still canon or not, whether Toriyama decides, to write some new shit. It's still fun. Let's get into the battle.
I'll be like, who the hell is Ginyu? Like, he probably doesn't even remember them.
Definitely doesn't remember that.
I did.
Oh my god. Let's get into the fights itself. Gohan and Krillin are first to fight up versus Gildo. I'll remember this always forever because their power up thing was in the Toonami preview intro thing.
Classic with the dope music.
They're finally getting the fight. Gohan is a lot more of a capable fighter during this entire thing. Like, it seems like everything from the whole Saiyan saga where he was just it seemed like he was a lot scared to do it. He seems a lot more gun-ho. I don't know if it's because Gildo is shorter than he is, but he seems quite...
That's pretty short. Gohan's only 5 years old.
Yeah.
So...
it just is what it is, but Gohan and Krillin versus Gildo, tag team action. Well, I don't know, handicap match, whatever you want to go with. What are your thoughts on this fight? Is there anything that kind of stood out to you guys?
I mean, they should have just... I didn't need to see this, especially because Vegeta ends up, I don't have time for this shit.
I think they needed to show us just some of Gohan and Krillin having some type of abilities and just kind of skill and how useless Goldo was, so when Vegeta does eventually kill him, you're okay, good, get rid of him.
Just make Gohan and Krillin look strong.
Exactly, make him look strong. But he had some cool moves when he got to pull him out, the time freezing and beating him up when the time was messed up, and
he almost got impaled by a tree.
Yeah, so that's why he's in the team to show you why he was there. Because like when push comes to shove, he'll get you impaled. That's it. That's what he does.
Yeah.
But and then one of the things that sticks out for me, and this is one of those like dub differences. Saban was really bad with violence. They didn't want any violence in the show. So in that original version, Vegeta doesn't chop off his head. He kind of just like chops him in the neck and he falls. And they digitally add like his body back to him on the floor before Vegeta kills him again. It's really weird looking now. But as a kid, you had no idea. Yeah.
No,
so it's just like
hilarious.
it just seems like a real bad chop to the neck, and then Vegeta kills him, sends him to the next dimension in the Saban version. But in the other versions, he chops that head right off, and it's
so much potential from Gildo, man. He could have been hit. He could have been hit out here, man.
He could have, but
I love
and
the
he
fact
didn't get the smoke back with Vegeta.
I love the fact Vegeta's fighting alongside these two, and he's like, "Oh fuck these guys! Like I'm just gonna end this myself. Like you guys are taking too long. You guys aren't as strong as me. Let me just end this. I don't even like him that much." And then we get the fight between Vegeta and Raccoon, which to me is, oh boy! I mean,
look, man, Raccoon is nice. Raccoon is nice, man.
Raccoon does, yeah.
He's nice.
He has a fun moveset. He has a fun moveset. I would play with him in a video game.
Yeah.
He has a fun move. He has a strong moveset too. He has all these like eraser cannons and all these other like blasts that you're like, God damn.
He be taking damage, man.
Yeah, he takes damage, gets back up, just loses some like clothes, like he's in Soul Calibur. That's like the worst that happens to him. Before the worst happens to him. But no, that was a good fight. That was one of those fights where like Vegeta, his size and strength like are against him. Because I remember like the friggin' 50-foot power bomb, which was great. He just kind of picks Vegeta up like a child and just spike power bombs him New Japan style, and it's awesome.
It really like I think his height wasn't as much prominent in any other part than it is here.
They always find a reason to like raise the stakes for something, you know. And that was one of those things.
I was like, man, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Raccoon was probably 10 feet tall, so it's not like a thing. But like Vegeta's actually like kind of short.
Yeah, no, he picked him up like a child. It was wild, or like a dog. It just like grabbed him like by the waist. Yeah. Like that meme, grab him by the waist, hold him close, and Batista bomb him. That's what happened.
Vegeta's 5'5". He's 5'5".
Okay, no.
With hair.
No way.
It says he's 5'5" with hair, yeah, so he's really like 5'2".
I'm really 5'5", but I'm really like 5'7". It's just,
and Bone was listed as 5'5" as well, so there you go.
The weird thing is, on Super, they made him taller again. Like they made. Like I was mad because they made him taller and they made Krillin shorter. So I'm just like, y'all taking away all my representation. Like why would y'all do this? I was very upset about it.
Nonetheless, Raccoon beats the holy shit out of Vegeta. I mean, he really kicks him into a whole new gear. And despite Vegeta's attempts, and he uses quite a bit of attempts, I think we see the Final Flash. Galagun. There we go. And it's just not enough. Like Raccoon only like he blows his armor off, which I guess is like extra points, but doesn't really do anything to him, which is wild. And it even gets to the point where Vegeta's about to go down, and Krillin and Gohan have to actually jump in and save him, which was one of my favorite parts. I think because Raccoon is going for that mouth blast, and Krillin jumps, kicks him in the face, and like the blast goes through his nose a little bit.
Which is uncomfortable. Yeah,
it's really sick though.
Which is just funny in general. But then Raccoon nails Krillin, kick. He slides across the ground like a rock on water. It's like some You Got Served shit, like a whole face slide across the.
It was so bad. The kick was so bad. All Krillin could do was smile and be like, "Yep, this is it. This is how I die."
Like, this is how it is on a planet.
It's over. Yeah. I'm alone.
I
can't feel my limbs.
This entire thing was up to this point. Gohan and Krillin's entire plan was a race for survival. This was just to get the Dragon Balls and avoid death by any means possible.
They should have never went. They should have never won. We've been discussing that since we started this saga.
But somebody had to go. Who was gonna go?
Man, look, they need to just wait just a little bit longer.
let's just wait it out. If we wait a couple of years, this Trunks guy is gonna come. I don't know. we'll figure it out. Don't ask me how I know. I just know.
Just a couple of years.
They got. Well, dang, I was gonna say that. The interesting thing about that, I'm just gonna keep talking about Saban like I got work there. but no, because when I rewatched it for this, Saban is so engraved in my head because I used to watch not just the repeats, I taped it, all that stuff. And Saturday morning, there's Saturday, Sunday when you're a kid, there wasn't stuff on TV, so you just watch the same stuff that you used to have. So. I remember Gohan and Vegeta. I mean, Gohan, Krillin saved Vegeta, and in that version, Vegeta's mad at them. Like I was planning an attack. Like, why would you guys stop this? And on the one on Funimation I just watched, he was just like, "Nah, y'all should have let me die." And I was like, "Oh, that's a different line change," and like messed up my whole past 20 years of what I thought this scene was about.
You off, man.
Yeah,
I would like to believe he was planning an attack.
It looked like he was. It looked like he was about to blast something, and they were trying to help him. And it just didn't work out for everybody.
We'll never know.
Exactly. And he had the broken arm. His arm's always broken.
Always broken. Vegeta's arm gets broken every saga.
Well, beyond also Krillin getting kicked, Gohan who mounts an assault. Gohan gets you know what? I like Gohan in this because he gets that different color energy blast, which is like yellow and purple.
They gave him that look. They gave him that look. You know, that's part of the we get to the Cell games. This is what we've been waiting for all the way back from this is definitely.
They gave him a look, and then Raccoon immediately shuts down that look by breaking his neck, which is insane. Like with one kick, he breaks his neck, and I can like kind of feel that his neck is broken. He hits the ground. He's almost dead, but luckily, right on time. I mean, you would have thought this was also the Saiyan saga because it's legitimately kind of a similar sort of action. Right on time. They look in the background and they see, there's a spaceship landing. He's like, and Burger's like, one of those Namekians must be coming back from vacation or something like that.
Could you imagine? It's like, oh man, what a great trip to Cooler 98. And then he's just like, oh no, what happened?
Everyone's gone.
Why is everyone dead on the floor?
Comes back.
Not be funny.
They landed.
Not another Namekian pandemic. No, I'm stopping.
I'll give it this. Goku lands somewhere near the actual fighting scene instead of them doing like he lands on the other side of the planet and has to like race around it. He lands relatively close to the fighting scene. Door opens up. Legitimately, and once again, the bridge is stuck in my mind. It's legitimately, it's everything except the Superman music or the real American theme.
Oh yeah.
Is going down because it's probably the most like heroic entrance. This is after maybe like 25 episodes of Goku not being in the mix. You finally get Goku back, and it's like, okay, everything is right.
You know what took it to a new level? The sensu beans on the belt.
Oh, yep.
Because then you knew he was there for business. He's like, all right, I'm here, but I'm also here to save everybody.
I never really thought about it. The sensu beans on the belt.
That changes the game.
About it. Yep.
That changes the game. You just know because you're loud. This is serious.
And it was so like they did such a good job. I'm bringing up the original. they did such a good job in that version because like they have this like choir music and like he just came there and he stood like flexing and like I still remember the smile on my face like as a kid like he's here like like the glass shattered and like you knew everything was about to go down and like it was a wonderful scene.
So what do you guys think of I want to say it's a trope, a recurring thing of Goku going missing until he's no longer not. Until everyone's almost dead and everyone thinks. Do you think it's detrimental to the other characters on the show?
Or do you think about like currently?
I mean, it goes on for quite a bit.
It does. Like, I don't think it needs to happen in Super anymore. Although, I mean, if you're reading the manga, but I don't think it's needed because I feel like a lot of the characters are now just as important as Goku, regardless of him still being, possibly the strongest person in the world still. But there's like new levels to some other, characters' power. So I think we don't need it, but the show still makes sure that we remember, hey, there's still one person who's going to continue to save us, regardless if it seems like it's not him. It's still going to be him. And we learned that in the tournament, right? I mean, even though they gave some credit to 17 and Frieza, and, it was still Goku.
He's the guy. He's always going to be the guy. I always want to see the other guys do more. Gohan, especially. I remember Mystic Ultimate Gohan. I was very hype about, and
they watched it
in typical Gohan fashion.
They watched it. Even Cell Games. If you look at Cell Games, yes, Gohan got his moment. And we realized that he was probably the strongest being on Earth at that moment. But they still used Goku to push that.
You're right.
Yeah.
Goku needed to. It's like in the WWE when they're like, all right, you can push somebody new or we can go back to John Cena. So like, and it's always,
like, what?
We got to go back to Cena. It's like, well, we could give, I don't know, Dolph Ziggler a try. They're like, nah, we're going to go back to Cena.
No one's buying new Krillin merch. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No one's buying
Gohan merch.
The Krill dog in the house shirt. No one's buying the shirts. So we gotta go back to the orange and blue.
Oh my god. But that said, I mean, Goku appears very, very quickly on the scene. I think he takes like one step and he's there. It's amazing. It's like maybe that's the Frieza thing. I forget. With that, he's very quick on the scene. Everyone's like, "Oh, who's that guy?" Like, with the dumb raccoon voice. I wish I could do it better. Yeah. I just can't. It's too. Like my voice doesn't do that type of stuff. But he shows up on the scene and everyone's like, yo, who's that guy? And he's just walking, handing out sensu beans.
You get one.
He gives one to Krillin because he's like, Krillin looks the worst. Let me do that first.
Per usual.
Krillin can speak.
Meanwhile, his son's on the ground with a broken neck.
Yeah. He's like, my son's got a couple more minutes in him left. I can give him sensu bean later. But Krillin, goddamn.
I don't know how you can chew this with a broken neck, but sure, yeah. Let's and then he gives it to Gohan, and then he looks over at Vegeta and like, Vegeta, catch. And Krillin's like, what are you doing? I was like, what the fuck? He just saved you like 2 times.
Down, bro. Like, I would have been if I was Goku, I'd have been like, what are you doing? You had a chance to kill Vegeta. I stopped you then. You could have did it.
Yeah.
He really could have. He was going to.
And
Goku was like, no, think about it. What if he just like, nah, and just have Vegeta?
That's what he said.
Nah. Gets his first taste. Vegeta gets his first taste of a sensu bean. He's like,
he was like, ooh.
But I'm better.
You're right. It's like,
and then, the first time. Of course, Goku has this moment within a matter of moments. Raccoon is just over with. I think with a hard elbow to the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
Raccoon is just down to the ground. And my favorite part of this entire thing is Vegeta looking on and it's like, that motherfucker right there is a Super Saiyan.
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, nobody believed me before, but this is the guy.
You can't tell me he not a Super Saiyan. Tell me he not a Super Saiyan. Like
everyone else, like, what are you talking about?
He's like, nah, man, that's a Super Saiyan right there. Ain't no way you could beat him ain't no way you could be stronger than me and not be a Super Saiyan at this point. Am I a super? I don't know, but that guy, he is Super Saiyan right there. And
I'm gonna be one eventually, but right now it's him.
Right now it's him. I gotta learn how to get to that level. No one really knows what a Super Saiyan is at this point. Everyone's just like, oh. It's mentioned quite frequently, which is good build. It's mentioned from everyone, from Guru to Frieza to I think even Zarbon to even Berter and Jace at some point also mentioned it. It's mentioned by everybody.
It's crazy because like Broly somewhere on another planet already a Super Saiyan.
Already Super Saiyan, eating animals, doing all this other stuff. Yeah, got a little loincloth.
Wearing ears on him around his waist. Right. Goku versus Berter and Jace.
Before we, I'm gonna do another watch fact. This, if you were watching, especially in the 90s, was the cutoff point. Goku a Super Saiyan, and then it would repeat for like 2 years before the new episodes came. So you're just like, oh my god, when is this coming? And then it finally came, I think September 13th, I want to say, in 1999. I had like a tape before then, and that's when everything changed. The Falconer music comes in, all the voices that you know now come in, and you're like, this is different.
That budget, boy.
It was early Funimation budget, man. They weren't. I was gonna tweet this. I'll probably tweet it anyway. Because they did the Inuyasha spinoff, and they got all the dub voices back except for maybe like one or two. If you could tell 1999 me that like Funimation was doing Inuyasha and they got all the voices back and all that, I would have been so mad because back then that was not a possibility. So good for them, man. That shows how far they've come in 20 years. But yeah, this was the change. This was when you now get and you can see it on the Funimation app because the acting gets a lot worse. Because that's what they were figuring it out along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Goku faces Berta and Jace at the same time. Goku's infinitely stronger than them. He's like doing breakdance moves. It kind of reminds me of, remember that first episode of Power Rangers with the Black Ranger, like doing with the dance moves? I don't know why it reminds me of that. Maybe it's just because of spinning on his back and shit like that, but it just kind of has that feel.
He does do like a spinneroonie.
Yeah, he's just playing around with these folks, and Berta and Jace, they just don't on the deal. Berta's like, I'm super fast. How's this guy faster than me? And Jace is just like, hit him with everything, mate. Like, hit him
with everything, mate.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's super. The super. I forgot what their joint move is. It's like the super Powerball Crusher, something like that. And they throw the whole kitchen sink at him, and it just doesn't make any difference because eventually Goku dismantles. Jace is like, he says something hilarious. I know it's funny because I remember him saying something funny before he like dips off. I'm gonna go get Captain Ginyu, and we're gonna, come back, and you'll be sorry. And he takes off to get Captain Ginyu, which they 100%. Compared to most things, like he has to fly, go back to Frieza's ship, get Captain Ginyu, come back. Compared to most things, this happens fairly quickly.
Yeah, they
like,
speed
up. Say, compared to like this could have been like a 3-episode thing of like maybe Goku leaves and goes somewhere else over the next 3 hours or something along those lines. Nope, they're standing in the same spot.
They're just talking about Dragon Balls, how to use them, and what to do next.
Yeah. Goku's like, oh, I missed the part where Goku reads Krillin's mind and never bothers to use that power again.
Never does it again. One and done.
It was too much.
He learned too much about Krillin. That's why he learned too much. He had his whole brown.
I'll never want to do that again.
He was like, nah, that's tough.
When we come back from Namek, we can't hang out for a little bit.
Didn't know you had all this built-up resentment from world tournaments and stuff.
Right.
With that said, Jace goes off. He gets Captain Ginyu. He comes back. I believe Goku tells Krillin and Gohan, go find Bulma, which, I mean, technically they do find Bulma. They just leave her wherever she's at again. Yeah. But he tells her go find Bulma, then go find the Dragon Balls. And Goku's like, Vegeta, you gonna back me up on here? And Vegeta's like, oh, I'm gun-ho, kind of. And it seems cool. Because I'm like, okay.
It did. I remember it being like, oh, they're gonna fight, yo.
Goku and Vegeta fight side by side. Oh shit. This is getting you a chase.
But the things that transpire is really funny for me.
Color scheme, yeah. And Vegeta's like, thought you had a friend, and like bounces. It's great.
He's like, actually, I'm gonna go find the Dragon Balls. Fuck you guys. And dips off. And Goku isn't even mad. He's just like, oh no.
Yeah, I think Goku knew. Like, he didn't. I don't think he knew. He didn't need Vegeta. It was just like, it'd be nice if you kicked it here with me and handled this.
I'll just go fuck myself. Okay, cool.
It's like it would have been, yeah. It's just like what Jeff said. It's like it would have been cool if we kicked it, but
whatever. I'm strong
you're gonna
enough.
go.
I mean, I did just give you a sensu bean and like saved your life.
Yeah, like come on, bro. Like least you could do is use some of your energy with me. Like,
Oh
take
my
out
god!
Jace or something. Damn. All right.
Vegeta flew off to go take a shower and change his clothes.
Exactly.
What
He
proceeds
really
to
did,
me is one of the. I'll say this. What proceeds to me is one of the probably my least favorite part of this entire Ginyu thing, which is the whole Ginyu Goku thing.
Oh
And
no.
It's my least favorite. I know it's your.
counts.
I know you like it.
Goku form. That counts, bro.
It's the scouter. It's the
We don't
scouter.
see it enough. It's the scouter for me.
Yeah,
It's definitely the scouter for me.
Once you put the scouter, I was like, okay, forget the sensu bean
That's
look.
hard.
This is it. You know?
It's definitely the scouter for
The
me.
scouter makes it.
I'm like, damn, this nigga look tight, bro.
Everybody wants an evil Goku because of that.
It just reminded me so much of Bardock, you know, like it was just so cool looking.
I'll only say it's my least favorite because so much things like Gildo had like this power that was like useful in battle and stuff, and Raccoon was like kicking ass, and even like Birder was like super speed. So you're like, oh, what does Ginyu have? And he's like, oh yes, change bodies, but he never really fights like that. Like he fights, but it's kind of like him fighting in Goku's body. So you don't really get to see Ginyu actually fight. You actually get to see him have like an actual like internal crisis once he realizes how Goku's like he shoots himself into the water.
Yeah,
you know, it's like
it's such a weakness. Like, and any other experienced fighter against him is gonna recognize, like, man, he's not gonna be able to use my body. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing for me. Like, I'll handle this with ease.
No, you're right. I mean, that was the big drawback about it, unfortunately. Or fortunately for them, unfortunately. But he did start to learn it towards the end. Like he started to like kind of get a small grasp of it.
Oh, getting the hang of this. What?
Yeah.
Pubic hair, all this other stuff.
I got a wife, apparently. Like, I don't know what she is.
My wife when I get to go back home.
Yeah.
Just pink and fleshy. Oh my god!
Could you imagine? He kept the body. He goes back home to Gigi, and he actually likes being at home and being around. And like, so Chi has her husband that actually sticks around and like, stops fighting. And he stops fighting, and they just live happily
blindly loyal to Frieza. He's too blindly loyal to Frieza.
He is.
True.
He would be on Earth and be like, "How can we take this planet for Lord Frieza?" I only say that because of the Resurrection F thing. At that point, Frieza was dead. He hadn't seen Frieza for years. The first sniff he had of Frieza, he was like, "Oh shit, we back. I'm back in the saddle, baby." Frieza, where you been all my life?
I've been here the whole time. I've
been waiting.
I never lost faith. Got the free Frieza signs and all that stuff.
At that point, Frieza was disgusted.
Yeah, he's like,
100%.
You ain't move on.
You ain't move on. It's been years, man.
Boo was around or something. Like, talk to him.
Let's see. After powering up, surprising Goku. Okay, so now he's got on the scouter. He's flying with Jace.
But before he does that, he punches himself in the chest, which is like wild. Like he put the whole hole through his whole ass chest, which is you're like, holy shit. So he's got some power.
It's like when you fight in like a crazy white person and they start hitting themselves in the head. Like, come on, bro.
I remember a quick side note. I was at a friend's party, and then we all he had rented a party bus, and then we had to get off the bus, and it was time to go our separate ways. But the white dude was so drunk and mad for some reason, and I remember he just went, "I'm about 5 seconds away from flipping the fuck out right now." And I just grabbed the person. I was like, "Yo, we gotta go. I don't want to see what he's gonna do." But I know he's gonna do something, and he pronounced every word, and I don't want to be a part of this. So I got in the Uber as quickly as possible because I did not. So that's what Ginyu did. He went, "I'm about 5 seconds away from flipping the fuck out right now," and then punched himself in the chest. And it's a great strategy.
Switch his body with Goku, and Goku's just like the weird part about the switching body is how I guess their mouth forcibly opens, and
there's no consent.
It's kind of like. Yeah, it's
zero.
It's just like, oh shit, I'm changing body. It's like, what's my mouth doing? What is coming out of it? It's
Yeah,
like,
what if you
oh
just
my
close
God.
your mouth? Or
That's
like,
what I'm
I don't
saying.
know.
Crazy ability.
Yeah. Hey,
Really
child.
crazy
He's like,
Just got the mouth closed. Come on,
Oh
man,
my
open
God.
up. That's not how it's gonna work.
ability.
Oh my God. But nonetheless, of course, Ginyu's in now Goku's body, and Goku's just like floating through the air in Ginyu's body. It's like, damn, this shit heavy.
Yeah. Got more cholesterol. He's not in as much shape.
Did he
Like when
eat
you
like
put
a
on
frog on his way here?
you put on a shirt that you could still fit in, and you get surprised.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's flowing on his way there, and then eventually, they bump into Gohan and Krillin. Krillin's like, "Hey, Goku, what are you doing hanging out with Jace?" And he's just like, "You didn't
Read the
read
room.
Scouter."
Yeah, read the room, bro. Like, come on, can't you just?
What do you do with this scouter on and hanging out with the enemy? That seems weird. Why are you meaner now?
Oh, but
Why are you
man,
raising your
come on,
hand to
man.
hit me? Are you gonna hit me? Oh, he hit me. Yes.
Another favorite part. One of my other favorite parts. Vegeta returns to
Oh
the
my
ship.
God, bro, this is the funniest shit, dude.
The Frieza Force is, first of all, he jumps in the ship. We'll never not forget. I've mentioned a bridge so many times in this episode, only because I feel like they hit their true stride in this arc, where he jumps down and he's like, "Wee!" But he's in the ship. He's walking around and he's like, "Vegeta, we have orders to capture you." And he's like, "Listen, do what you got to do. I'm looking for where's the Dragon Balls." He's walking around the ship. They're all pointing guns at him. And he's just walking around the ship. He's like, "Where are the Dragon Balls?" And he's like, "We're supposed to kill you." And he just kills them all and just decides to take a shower and change his clothes. And now he's in,
I mean, he was there.
arguably.
Yeah, why not? He got
This man. This man went in Frieza's shower. took it like, yo. It's just so disrespectful, man.
Some high level of disrespect.
Arguably his worst fit in the series.
You think so?
Yes. I
used to like it. I don't know how I feel about it now, but it used to be one of my preferred ones in the video games.
It's just, the shoulder, the gold shoulder things really make a difference.
Yeah,
they just really do.
I feel you. I mean, I
and
do.
The navy blue doesn't work as well as the royal blue thing. Like it just makes a real difference why they changed it. It didn't look that great to me.
I personally, Saiyan Saga Vegeta is like, tail wrapped around the waist, shoulder pad. That's me.
I like the early Namek.
That is my favorite fit. I like I used to use Scouter Vegeta a lot. Like even though he wasn't that good in the video games, but I like the tail, I like the Scouter. I just like Scouters. I don't know.
Hey, you may be onto something.
I might just be into the Scouters. I wish we could rock Scouters for real. I know they tried with like Google Glass. It just didn't look as hot.
Nah, didn't look sexy at all.
No, but if we could wear Scouters and like when we can go back to living regular life, I'm all for it.
Let's see.
I don't know what I'm scouting, but
COVID.
Ginyu takes on Krillin and Gohan and I guess Goku at some point. Goku as Ginyu, and he takes him on, and they're figuring out. He's figuring out his body. Fuck you. Meanwhile, Vegeta and Jay start mixing it up.
A lot of recycled footage here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. and Jace is like, "Wait a minute, how do you get so damn strong?" He's like, "Almost died, playa. Almost died."
That's all it takes for me.
That's all it takes for me. He kills him upside down, I think, which was hard.
Yeah.
I was just
Chops
like,
him in like the stomach or something, or chest, and then blows him up. It was great.
Blows him up. Goku's like, "You didn't have to do that," and he's like, "Shut the fuck up. You're next. You're next." By the way,
mind your fucking business.
He takes so much pride in beating up Goku's body and like really kicking
that's
shit.
That's my favorite part. That's my favorite part. Because it's like he's just doing it out of there's really no reason to do it. He's just doing it like beat a dick.
And Ginyu switches bodies back with Goku again. Goku gets his old body back, but it's all like beaten up by Vegeta, so he can't really move, which makes no fucking sense.
He really didn't have to do it that bad.
He had no reason to do it that bad, bro.
Especially if you knew Frieza was coming. Like he's just like, I'm gonna just do this.
He just wanted to get some licks in.
Right?
This is for last saga.
This is for the spirit bomb. This is for your fat friend. cut my tail off. This for that blue-haired girl. I don't know who she is, but I'm mad about her too.
Ginyu tries to switch bodies with Vegeta. Vegeta almost falls for it, except his mouth didn't really open. So I don't know. I guess it was open yelling, but it wasn't like open, like forcibly open. And Goku throws the frog, and history is made.
History's made.
That is it.
Interception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
is now a frog. Vegeta is still Vegeta.
He was going to kill the frog. Yeah.
Vegeta would have been irate if he was in Ginyu's body, though, bro. I would have loved to hear that dialogue because, man.
His body.
I'm hideous.
They got some real color problems in this show, man. There's nothing wrong with Ginyu's purple body. Oh, but yeah, that was the whole Ginyu Force. And Vegeta's the fun fact that he kills all of them at some point.
Yeah.
Listen,
it's a great redemption arc for him.
The bodies pile up for him. I'll do a short little thing after this. Gohan and Krillin get new Saiyan suits.
Mm-hmm. Krillin did not.
My favorite part.
It didn't look good on Krillin.
No, that shit was disrespectful as fuck to me. Like, don't put this man. Vegeta should have stepped in. Been like, yo, bro.
My favorite part is
you're not saying.
Krillin finds out about the suits and is like, Mondo cool. And Vegeta's yes, Mondo cool.
That's one of those wonderful dub lines that I love. I love how cheesy Funimation can be sometimes, and that was top tier.
Yes, Mondo cool. Once I find all these Dragon Balls, me being immortal will be Mondo cool.
Is that what you guys say in order?
Oh god.
Krillin tries to go to Guru to get the things. We'll end off kind of there. Now,
but if I want to say one thing real quick, because it ties in when Krillin leaves, Vegeta, which is I think is like one of the realest things they've ever done. Vegeta just gets sleepy, like he's just like tired.
But not like wait. It was a very aggressive I feel like that coming along.
Super aggressive. Like you could tell they hasn't been dark once. Obviously, they're on Namek, so he's like, man, I ain't slept once since I've been exactly. I'm tired as fuck.
Which is like we've all been there. Like you have that idea, so like you're just tired. And like,
but his comes along hard.
No matter what's coming along, you're like, I need that nap.
Yeah,
I need that nap, and then we'll get right back to it.
I thought it was like a hard virus coming along or something.
I like that. I like that, man. It gives us that relatable, sense.
He sets whatever a Frieza watch, whatever Frieza timer thing. He like taps on it, and he's like, "Listen, once I'm out, once Kakarot's out. First of all, I'm gonna send Kakarot out first, and then I'm gonna get the Dragon Balls ready."
He get that immortality.
He's sleeping. He's taking a nap.
Yeah, and he looks peaceful. He's like smiling and stuff. Like,
he's so happy the way it's played out.
Excellent.
I'm gonna use
it all coming together.
Yeah. Ooh, I can't wait. And then
Frieza will never figure out where we are now in his own ship.
In his own ship. You see, Frieza got cameras. He got cameras. He know you got the shower. Man. Yeah.
Use the shower, bro.
He was doing the fuck your couch. He's doing all that stuff.
Got to talk about the non-Ginyu, actual point thing. So
the Chi-Chi stuff.
Well, there's Chi-Chi. Yes, Chi-Chi wants to go to Namek, and she's tired of people not listening to her. But she wants to go to Namek. She has no crew. There's no one with a considerable power level along with her. I think she ends up recruiting like Yajirobe, Puar, Roshi, Oolong, the whole Dragon Ball gang to try to go to Namek.
Sunday Night Heat Squad.
And they're like, no, I ain't going over there.
Also, Frieza makes it to Guru's place after hours of flying. He makes it to Guru's place. He runs into Nail. Also, other Namekians show up and try to get the jump on him.
That's one of my favorite things in the Namek saga. When their Namek warriors come in with so much gusto that they're going to think something's going to happen.
I love it.
And I think they were the ones, they weren't on vacation, but they weren't on the planet. So we just got here and we found out what happened.
We just got it. Yeah. They're like hanging off the side of the building and one's behind him and like one's in front of him. He was like, Nail, you're trying to take all the glory for yourself. And he's like,
And they was like,
You
"Don't
guys need to leave,
Yeah,
or
please
fuse, or something."
This is gonna get ugly quick.
And they're like, "Nah, we got this," and they don't. And it's the second time this happened. I remember my friend Drew, who I do like YouTube anime stuff with, and overall best friend. He we call in the earlier Namek saga when the 3 Nameks come and try and save the village and get washed hardcore.
Yes,
We call them the 3 extremely overconfident Nameks. They came in and they really thought they were gonna make a difference against Dodoria, and all the kids were like, "Yeah, they're gonna do it, yeah," and they get one of the most brutal washes in like anime history, and you're just like, oh no. There seems to be a trope for the Nameks where they think they can do things that they really can't.
They have bad communication skills.
I just think they're in their own world. They don't really know how much bigger the universe is. They think their warriors are the best warriors. Clearly, they're not. They should have fused or something. I don't know. They
should all fuse. All of them should fuse. One ultimate warrior.
One giant Namek. It's like, why not, guys?
Just one great Namek.
So Frieza obviously talking real smack to Guru. He's like, "Look at this guy. Look at tell me what the password for the Dragon Balls are."
Yelling at an old man. Like, what's wrong with you, Frieza?
And Guru's not responding. He's like, "Oh." And
half dead.
Nail shows up, and Nail's like, "You can fight it out of me," or something along those lines. And Guru's like, "Nail, be careful." Something along those lines. Whatever. They fly off to go do their own thing. The only thing, he doesn't kill him in, I guess, these series of episodes, or actually he doesn't kill him at all, but he does rip his arm off, which is sick as shit. Like, just rips it off. And he's like, "Oh, my left hand could kill you, so I'm only going to use my left hand in things." Standard Frieza
so
shit.
Arrogant, yeah.
Love it.
And just rips his arm off, and Nail's just screaming for his life. I was like, damn, this is the most brutal shit ever.
so much purple going around.
Needed to happen, man. Yeah, Namekian, waste of time, man. Let's go.
Oh, you need to see. I don't know if it's this one or it's like right afterwards. He hits him in the chest, pretty much makes his chest like explode, not explode.
Oh yeah. It's the next one. It's the next one. It makes it expand.
Yeah.
And like I don't know. I don't even know what they call that. It's not concave. It's just like
You're just fucking around. You're just fucking around.
They had to show how good Frieza was.
100%.
There was like I don't know if this was canon or not, but I remember people saying that Nail was as strong as Vegeta at that time.
Please.
Before the next near death experience, like they would have been able to held their own. Like when they had the little face off, where you don't want this, and Vegeta was
because there was like after fight power levels for Vegeta at that point.
Yeah. Nail was as strong as Vegeta after Vegeta defeated Zarbon. That's how strong Nail was. So if it was right before the whole Ginyu Force fight. I think Nail and Vegeta probably could have, stood on an even kind of playing field. But after the whole
last one episode, so
it was just a wrap. But with that said, this episode is a wrap. I want to thank Kyle for coming through, of course.
No, thank you guys. This is so much fun. I love getting a chance to talk about Dragon Ball anytime.
Yeah, this was hilarious.
Great time.
You can follow him at Keep It 5-star on Twitter. Anything else they should look out from you?
Yeah, especially if you are. I'm not doing much live comedy because COVID, but youtube.com/keep it 5-star FIVE. Not only is there stand up on there, but my partner, your boy Drew, and I, we do anime reacts. We've recently been doing like Yashahime. We did all of Evangelion, the Netflix version, and it's fun. It's fun. It's funny. It's enjoyable. We did some of Cautious Hero, but that stopped because of the pandemic. So we got a lot of cool anime content on there. I'm finishing up the Final Fantasy VII today, the remake. I just got to finish sending that out, so that's on there as well. Smash Bros. We call it the fun factor, and it's just about having fun with the things that you love, whether it's anime, gaming, wrestling, comedy, all good times. So if you're looking for things to watch or binge or even just put on in the background and help me make like 3 cents off YouTube, by all means, check that stuff out.
We're working on it too, so we can appreciate that. Trust me.
Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. Well, we want to thank you guys for listening. Of course, if you want to continue to subscribe, you can follow the Lookout on RNC Radio on, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Amazon thing. The Amazon thing is up. So Amazon Podcasts, you can listen to us there if you listen to podcasts via Amazon. You can also follow us on Twitter at the Lookout RNC. You can, just stay tuned. We're still doing this week by week. We're still trying to figure things out. Oh, there's a lot of stuff coming up this week. I might be on the Big Eyes this week, but chances are, if you're hearing this, the Big Eyes will already have come out. So if you haven't heard it yet, I will probably be on it. So tune into that. And yeah, man, we're continuing to do this week by week. Thank you once again to Kyle for coming through and just kind of blessing us with hilarity and stabbing history.
All that stuff. I'll see what I can do about getting it your way. It's definitely an experience. And it's such a different show, but
absolutely.
Link me on LimeWire, man. Link me on LimeWire.
Exactly. But it's what guys here, man. People get on dubs, but it's got most of us here. So I always gotta show some respect to dubs.
100%. Until then, we'll see you guys next week. So take care.
Peace.